lovely YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Dune Part 2. You saw our YouTube short, you've seen our reactions to it. If you haven't yet, make sure to go check that out because that will give you a little teaser of what I think about it. But I'll probably just say it right now. Yeah, this movie's phenomenal. Like, words don't describe it. Like, while watching it, it was an experience. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before. Before I saw this movie, I saw a lot of comparisons to Lord of the Rings Two Towers, which I've never seen any Lord of the Rings movie, but I'm working on it. I will watch it this year. Maybe I'll do like a, review YouTube short for it. I don't know. Once I finish the trilogy, maybe. Yeah, I've never seen any Lord of the Rings movies. And then I saw comparisons to Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, which is one of my favorite films ever. One of the best films ever. I think a lot of people can agree with that. So, going into this, I had high expectations. I loved the first Dune. You guys saw, I gave it a 9 out of 10. So it was really great, except, it just didn't feel finished because, it was a part 1. Like, I wish it was in the title maybe, but I get why they didn't. So, yeah, it's safe to say I was excited for this movie, and then I sat down, got my popcorn bucket because it looks fire, and the drink cup because that looked really good too. And I sat down, got ready to watch Dune Part 2. Why I tell you, those 2 hours and 45 minutes went by like 1 hour. Because it was one of the most fun experiences in a movie theater ever. Not necessarily because people were reacting. I actually didn't really have a lot of reactions like a lot of people. Me, Isaac, and Jaden were reacting a little bit just because when a scene was that good and stuff. But the theater wasn't reacting. It's just the pure masterpiece it is in theaters. Sitting in my chair when the dragonfly ships came up, whatever their name is, I don't really care. When they flew by, our seats were vibrating. When Paul and Feed were fighting, our seats were shaking. Every single scene was phenomenal, and you have to see it in the movie theater. There's no other way to watch this. I bet if I watch this at home, I'll probably not like it as much, which sucks, but it's gonna have to happen like that. I wish this would just stay in theaters forever. Stay in I would love to see this in IMAX. If this was my first IMAX movie, I would be so happy for that. I hate being that guy. I hate being the guy to tear up because oh, this movie's such a masterpiece. But that's how I felt watching this. This is in my Letterbox top 4 probably. It probably is. And that's not something that comes out all the time. And so, after the movie, I was thinking, should I put it in there? I don't know. And I just started thinking, there's so many things telling me to do it. And there's, one thing telling me not to, just to be recency bias. But I don't care. Honestly, throw me into a cliff. Throw me off. Wait, not into a cliff. Throw me off a cliff. I don't care. Hang me. Torture me. I don't care. This is a 10 out of 10. Just to get that out of there before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, it's a 10 out of 10. I guess I'll go through all the important aspects of the movie. The acting, phenomenal. I think each and every single performer was incredible, and they deserve, all the recognition they're getting. I think Timothée Chalamet deserves an Oscar nomination because he's the best performance in this movie. I think Austin Butler will probably get one, and I'm thinking maybe... I think I prefer Rebecca Ferguson's performance, but I think maybe Zendaya could get that nomination. I don't know. If they both get it, that'd be crazy, and, it's deserving. But besides that, Josh Brolin is incredible. He is, the Han Solo character of this movie, which Han Solo has been my favorite Star Wars character for a long time, and so he was great in this. I thought Javier Bardem as Stilgar was phenomenal. I think he was actually probably a top 5 performance in the movie for me. I saw a lot of people complaining oh, in the books he's the serious, he's the master, he's the Obi-Wan Kenobi. But in this movie he's kind of comedic relief in some scenes. And I thought he was really funny. But Florence Pugh was great. I love Christopher Walken. I've seen him in only 2 things really. I saw him in Batman Returns, and also I seen him in Peter Pan Live. That's a movie I used to watch as a kid. It was a live thing of production of Peter Pan. I always thought it was great. And he played Captain Hook, and he really, you could tell he doesn't care while he's there. The writing was incredible. I guess they didn't really do a ton of writing because it was a book before, but I'm still going to give them credit for it because it was really, really great from scene to scene. I was interested. Also, the editing helped with that too. The editing was really, really good. I was interested throughout each scene. They know when to cut, they know when not to cut, which is a really, really big problem with a lot of Hollywood movies these days. They don't know when to cut their scene. They don't know when, they don't know that, people can, enjoy a shot if it's, 10 seconds long. They just, cutting. This movie does a really good job at that. They keep it at the exact appropriate amount of time. The three best things in this movie on a technical level are definitely the sound, the score, and that cinematography. The cinematography is amazing. Greg Fraser is a mastermind, probably the best cinematographer I've ever seen. He did the Batman. He did the first Dune. He's done a lot of really, really big movies, and he kind of advances them to the next level. This could have been another sci-fi film, but with his cinematography, it's on another level. It makes it so much more than a sci-fi film. And the same thing with Hans Zimmer giving that incredible score. He reminds me of John Williams. Star Wars would not have been as good as it was if it wasn't for John Williams and his iconic score, and this is kind of the same exact thing, at least for me. Each scene, the score would just pulsating into my brain, and I was just this is a masterpiece. That's all I could say. The sound, I already told you about how it was shaking our seats, and that was phenomenal. The only time I got that was also during the Batman at the Universal Cinemark. You saw in the Batman Vintage Universal. That'll be in one of these corners. Don't remember which one. But, yeah, the sounds really, really did shake through the theater. And also, when you hear, an echo in the background, I swear I'd hear it, behind me in the theater. It was so cool. Visual effects is as good as it ever was. It's crazy how we got in movies like The Flash and Quantumania, and then we get movies like this, which is, some of the best visual effects I've ever seen. I think it really shows that you put time and effort into it, then, it's always going to turn out good. You can't say, oh, Marvel's just going through a tough time and stuff. You can't say that when this movie is made by, Legendary Studios or something. And they're a big studio, but no one really, it's not, as big as Marvel. Marvel is really just pushing it out. They took their time with this, and the hard work so paid off. I love how they're separate, tribes to the Fremen. They all, not separate tribes, but, all of them have, separate opinions. They are not, the same people, and they want to believe in the same exact thing. That was really interesting to me. Rebecca Ferguson does amazing in this movie. I love that her and her child could talk, so she could have a connection. Also in her scene where she's just by herself, it really keeps you invested because she has someone to talk to. I think that's always better when you do that in a movie, but that's just me. Yeah, in terms of even though we're still we're basically at the end of this year's award season, this next year is gonna be a sweep for this. Really, I definitely see this taking director. I see this taking sound, visual effects, cinematography, editing, score, makeup, production design, costume design, and probably adapted screenplay, and then it gets the best picture. But one thing I am concerned about is that I don't know if this would win Best Picture necessarily, because Two Towers, I think it was nominated, I don't know, but it didn't win even though it was critically acclaimed, and then Return of the King won Best Picture, which is a prime example of are they sure they want to give it to the second movie when they could probably give it to the third movie in the franchise, so it could be more rewarding. So hopefully it doesn't suffer the same fate. I don't think it will. I actually probably do see this winning Best Picture, at least as of now, because there's not a lot of movies this year that really have any competition with it. I mean, last year, if it did come out last year, I still think Oppenheimer would probably win Best Picture. But yeah, that was my review for Dune Part 2. In these reviews, I sort of just but I want to give you my overall consensus of what I think about the movie. I think you guys have seen my YouTube short. If you've seen my community tab post, I'm going to start doing that a little bit more. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. But yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorite films ever. And I don't think it's recency bias. I'm gonna rewatch it. I have to, or else I'm just gonna freak out. I can't stand any longer without it. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what your favorite part of Dune Part 2 was and what you would rate it out of 10. Until next time, adios, amigos. As written. I am Paul Atreides, Duke of Iraq.